Hello and welcome everyone to the Friday, September 16th edition of the Contributor Comms meeting. A reminder, we are operating under a code of conduct, which basically says to be respectful of your fellow speakers and attendees and generally be excellent to each other. And for today, as usual, we've got our notes doc here, which I should totally share the link to. When I grabbed the link to this earlier, it didn't like me. I'm going to grab it from my calendar. Okay, perfect. Thank you. So link to the notes is in the chat. And you'll find our usual table of all of our active action items. And right below that is our notes for the day. We've got several new items to go over. Oh, and I was going to grab the link to this preview. We're going to talk about KubeCon tweets. We'll get to that in a minute. But first, any updates and big wins that folks want to call out? Ooh, I have one actually. Frederico and also Rashit filed some tweets that needed approval on Buffer. Took me a few days, but I finally got those scheduled out and approved, and I love the new workflow, and it's so exciting.
Awesome.
Buffer tweet workflow going great. So that's my update big win. Anything else anyone wants to call out? I was actually on the community meeting this week, which actually happened, which I don't think that we tweeted anything about. I think they kind of put it together at the last minute. So
Laura forgot that it was like she had like a mismatch in her calendar kind of thing, and she didn't realize it was like on the Thursdays or Tuesdays she doesn't have the community meeting. She has like a lot of meetings, and this Tuesday she had a lot of meetings, and she thought there was no community meeting when there actually was. So yeah, we got it together though at the last minute. We figured it out.
Makes sense. If anyone particularly wants to help out with community meetings, I bet they'd love to have a shadow.
Yes, Laura needs a shadow at this point, and if that shadow came from this team, I think it would make some sense. I just don't know if anybody's able to shadow her during like the ContribEx meeting and the actual like public community meeting monthly. So you got to be in the right time zones unless you're sacrificing yourself.
Yeah, I'll reach out to Laura because I've hosted.
Oh yeah, I've hosted a million of them. Yeah,
this year. So I'll see if she needs any help.
And I was there yesterday for more moral support and just kind of keeping Zoom clean, which she was more on top of than I was. So yeah.
Should definitely get some of the newer folks involved though. That would be a great thing for some of the newer folks to start.
That would,
yeah, that's how I got started in the community, right? Like I did some time with SIG Docs. Then I was like, what's this SIG ContribEx thing? That seems like up my alley. And then they were like, hey, we need people to host the community meeting. And I was like, we should live stream these. And George was like, yeah, we should. I have the rig. And he like started live streaming them. I'm like, okay, you need a backup. And that's how I got into live streaming. Right. Like that's the story arc for me, live streaming.
The things that come from open source work.
Right. Exactly. Right. Like I literally did live streaming for a whole year at Red Hat as a result of the pandemic. So just because I knew how to live stream community meetings, that's pretty awesome when you think about it.
And if it's not in a good time zone for a lot of folks, then I think that's probably something that we should just try to address.
Yeah.
If someone from a time zone that conflicts with the current way the community meeting is being run wants to work with it, you can chat with Laura asynchronously.
ContribEx, wherever, yeah.
Yeah, start getting familiar with what the community meeting is. Maybe you could run one in a better time zone for you, and that would probably help a lot of people. Or
yeah,
you like that?
Totally.
So if you're interested, don't let time zones stop you.
Yeah, we did used to do multiple time zones, but for whatever reason, the second time zone never really got traction. So maybe that time wasn't the best time, and maybe there was a better time. I mean, to be honest with you, I think India Standard Time, we should focus on that because
seriously,
that covers a lot of Asia, right? Like anybody can align to that, I feel like.
Also, I feel like a lot of contributors are there, so
Mhm.
it would be convenient for a lot of people. But I think often when folks from not that time zone or not even close to that time zone try to schedule something for that time zone, it never ends up working out right.
There is that problem, yes.
Yeah. So if someone from that time zone wants to try to do something, it might be more successful than the last
Right.
attempt.
I will, tell you what, if you listen to this after the fact, whatever, if you're in India and you want to run India time zone based community meetings, I will offer my assistance to get that up and running.
Great opportunity here for contribution if anyone wants it. Don't be afraid. You can do it.
I think it works fine for India people at present. The folks affected are people from China and Australia. Basically, that's too late night for them. For us, yeah, it works because even registry meeting and all are during the same time period, so it works fine.
Okay.
Good to know. It
That is
seems
good to know.
like folks from India are very okay with, like, at least the ones who are involved with the
Flexing,
project are
yeah.
okay with like later in the evening things. Of course, that's total observation bias on my part.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
most of the meetings of Kubernetes are in the evening from
Exactly.
Indian standard time zone.
I wonder if it would be better if they were not.
Well, it's because Kubernetes originated from the Pacific time zone, right? There was a point in time where everyone involved in Kubernetes was on the West Coast.
Yeah.
So
Things are changing.
Yep. So if we can break the Pacific time zone standard that we kind of have in the project, that would be amazing considering our project uses UTC by default. Just a thought.
As it should, by the way.
Yes, absolutely. Awesome. So if anyone is interested in community meeting stuff, do let us know. I think maybe it'd be good if we post something on the ContribEx comms channel
Well,
about
check with
this.
Laura first, but yeah.
Well, just like about, yeah, I guess that's true. If we want
It's
to
her
post something
show.
on Slack, we should probably check with her that
Yeah,
she's
like-
actually okay with us being like, you want a shadow? Because we want to find you a shadow.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we should probably do that. But I know several folks who are usually at the meetings and who are very involved with the project are not able to come to this meeting today. Several of them pinged me updates. So I was like, seems like we should use the channel for that, but whatever. Cool. So any other updates, big wins before I move on to new items? Sounds like we're good to go. All right, new items. Deba, what you got?
So I was just going through the issues that are raised presently and see if we could help with some. I figured out two of them, and one it was a quick one, so I just posted a draft on that, and I think Bob has already commented on it. So yeah, I think I will put a PR, but I was just confused as to how to create this PR in the Kates.dev, because I figured out under the docs section at present in Kates.dev we have nothing. Like we have synced it up with the like Kates.io, and the selected parts just automatically appears there because of the code we have in Kates.dev. But nothing under docs in the content portion of Kates.dev. Yes, exactly. Here, so there's nothing in the these all things, those are not in the back end of the code, like like we have for blogs. These are directly taken from Kates.io, and
Right, they just link to that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Good point.
So I was a bit confused, like whether I should put it in docs, like a new PR like with this, with a Hugo header and content there, or like we should cross-link it from Kates.io.
Any advice, Chris? You're pretty familiar with Hugo and the dev site in a general sense. What do you think might make sense?
Document joining. Well, send me the issue real quick. I don't want to.
Bob mentioned on the issue, don't include ego shortcodes.
Yeah. Actually, he said like to make it readable at both places, like in the GitHub as well as in the website. So not to include the like table notes and all those shortcodes, just a hidden.
I didn't know what that meant. So that's like,
So short codes in Hugo are like HTML snippets that you can reuse. Or for
Okay.
example, they have some built-in ones like if I want to share a tweet, I can actually not use the copy pasta from Twitter. I could use the short code called tweet with the user ID and the tweet
I
ID,
see.
and it'll display it natively on your site. So
Mm.
short codes are a great way to do things quickly, but they're also proprietary in some senses too. So you have to be careful.
It's like a way to avoid HTML and CSS.
It's a way to avoid HTML in your markdown. Yeah.
Interesting. All right, so that seems doable. And that wouldn't preclude us from, I think the two options here are find something in three options. Find something in Kubernetes.io that already exists that we want to add to the documentation that we link to here. 2, add something to Kubernetes.io, which probably is not a good idea, so probably not that one. 3 is to introduce like a new format of page into k8s.dev where you can go from this page into documentation that's only on k8s.dev. What do we think would be best? Do we want to start? I feel like it makes sense for us to have like contributor specific documentation that's maybe not on Kubernetes.io here.
Agree. If it's joining the org, it's about contributions, so it should go on.
It should go here, right?
Yeah.
So I think it makes sense for us to start a new page in here where we have like k8s.dev specific docs. Folks agreeing with that?
We've talked about like potentially merging community and resources before, but yeah, I think that makes sense. And in this context as well, yeah, adding the site is there to have content added to it, right? To organize some of these things that are MarkMD files or HackMD files and whatever.
And what you've created is beautiful. Look at this.
No, it's actually present already in our
Okay.
repo. I have just added the
That
header.
makes sense.
I think it's not showing here. If you go to the edit thing, it will show like the header.
So
But,
this already exists.
Yeah,
there?
this is the contributor ladder. Like we have the community
okay.
members way.
Like
So
from a
there's the same-
README in a GitHub repo.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Gotcha.
but we wanted to have Hugo headers, so it goes to the site. Just added
So-
that and
Yeah. The Hugo headers are considered front matter. And it basically just tells Hugo where to put stuff, the date, who wrote it, that stuff, like the metadata for the site. Yeah, and that front matter will make it live essentially. Where otherwise it will just get ignored, I think, unless it's a certain file extension or name.
Cool.
And we're
So
about to document the front matter in the style guide. So, but you
So
could just
sounds
add.
like-
You could just look up some other examples.
sounds like we have a plan.
I guess at the present moment, I will look into the code that enables, the linking from gets.io to this page. Also, I will try to create a docs page where we could directly add content like .md files and it will show us in the website. I think
Right.
let's start with that process.
That part, I guess, is the more confusing part of the ask is like, how do you spin up those pages? And Chris is the person who comes to mind who would know things about creating a page
Yeah.
like that. Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to have multiple conversations at once.
It
I'm super
happens.
distracted. Yeah. Let me turn on Do Not Disturb so I can give you all my full undivided attention. All right. So what is the ask? We need to turn this draft into an actual page.
So actually at present, what is the issue is we didn't have any docs, like any docs that is present as in .md in the GitHub of the contributor site. Like it's Kubernetes/contributor site didn't have the similar thing that we have in k8s.io. There is documentation and blog, both have .md files in them, and that goes live in the website. At present, we have only the blog thing in the kits.dev where .md files gets added and it gets published. But for the documentation, we had a link from kits.io as on which particular content to show on the kits.dev, and it automatically appeared there. So this is the first time we are trying to add docs as in .md file. So I was like I was confused like whether if I add .md file under the docs folder we have at present, will it show up or not?
Let me double check the site structure real quick.
Yeah, I was gonna try and find it, but I don't have a convenient link to it.
It's, I forget where it is. Where does it live? I'll just go to the site and then go to edit button. Since it's doxy, it should have an edit button somewhere on a page, maybe. No. Okay, cool. Thanks. Resources.
I know Imran is also focusing on this area and trying to get familiar with it, so we should definitely bring this up and let him know what's
Under
going
the
on.
community page. Where the hell does it live?
Thank
I've
you.
updated this site before. There it is, contributor site. All right.
Open that twice.
So under content EN, you would put this under docs. And you have like some subdirectories under here. You have comms and guide, and then this index thing. This index thing is basically just going to list everything on that page. So whatever, if you put another folder in here with, information in it, it should, or just index.md, it should just get added to that docs page, if I'm looking at this right.
What should that folder be called?
Whatever you're trying to convey, I guess, right? Like a short term version of that. Like as this is how to contribute or whatever, then you could
How to get org
call-
membership? I think
how
is
to
the
get org, yeah,
focus.
joining the
Yeah.
org, right? Like you could just say org, right? Like, well, don't say org.
Probably not.
Joining, right? Like joining would be a good word, to use for the folder name, and then put an index.md file on that with the front matter for Hugo, and you'll be off and running, I feel like. So what
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so what actually happens is that documentation page, you notice how it has getting started and the cheat sheet and everything else. It's all under docs. And then you see those directory names after it, right? Does that make sense? And the repo itself. So like the comms thing on the website points to the comms directory in the Hugo site, which is here. I'll share it in chat. So if you put an index file in there, not an underscore index, that means something different, just a plain index.md file with all your content and front matter, it will show up on that page once it gets merged. And you'll be able to render it live by using the Hugo server function.
Okay, got it. So I will create this and put a PR.
Yeah, like if you want to tag me in it, I can pull down your PR and make sure it renders right and everything. That'd be fine.
Yeah, sure. I could make co-author as well, so that you could even change it.
Yeah.
Making a note here. How's that for a note to get started? Create a new folder in link with the index file for your new content.
Yeah.
Cool.
Just plain index.md. No
Yeah.
underscore. Yeah.
Sounds good. Next item. Deb also found another issue that we could probably help out with. have the
Yes,
gaps?
I think it was lying stale since a long period of time. And
Community meeting calendar item should link to the read-only version of the notes. That sounds like a very light fix.
Sounds like the right
Calendar
thing.
admin needs to change that.
Ooh. Well, wait, why is somebody asking it to be closed? I think
Well,
we can close
because
this.
you can't do it through GitHub, or like
No, you gotta.
it's not getting the attention of the people who need to actually make the change, I think.
yeah, exactly. That's what
Yeah.
happening.
So who owns the calendar is the question.
I think the co-chairs should have.
Yeah, but like there's a way to add stuff to it, I thought. Which calendar?
True.
Do you have the name of the calendar? Because there's a few in CNCF land.
It depends on which one the community meeting is on, I guess.
I'll
Is that
check the
on?
source.
That should be on like the main one, right? Because it's the
Yeah,
community
I would
meeting.
think so.
So
Calendar. Let me see if it's there. Da, 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 da. Community. Oh, Earth 2. Oh, it's apparently not. It was yesterday, right? The community meeting.
it was.
Yeah, but looks like it was removed.
Yeah, like it's not on here.
Yeah, because I
I
have a
see
copy
it on my
mine.
calendar.
You do?
Yeah, Kubernetes monthly community meeting. Starts with Kubernetes.
Oh, well, that'll do it.
So that might be why. Because I was looking for community
Monthly.
meeting.
Huh. Well, it is on my calendar, but it's not on this one. Weird. Maybe it fell out somehow. But
Maybe
there is
something
a
to ask Laura about.
yeah, definitely a Laura question.
Oh, it's on the calendar at kubernetes.io.
Oh, see, like I said,
The
different
main.
calendars. All right. Community calendar. Where's the calendar? Dang. Is it just kubernetes.io/calendar? That would make sense. Okay, so it's on the community calendar on the dev site. That we can change,
Okay.
but it's already there, so we don't need to change. No, we do need to change the agenda URL.
So it's in 2 calendars?
I
It
think
is
the one from .dev gets populated from the Kubernetes.
Yes, it is.
That would make
That's right.
sense.
It has a
The calendar.
hierarchical kind of,
Yeah.
it pulls a bunch of calendars together, actually.
So you probably
So-
can't change
Calendar.
that, right?
You can't change that here.
Yeah.
No. So yeah, we
Okay.
need to like, that could be a service desk request potentially.
Yeah, I
But-
put a link in the calendar or in the Zoom chat here.
Yeah, thank you. Let me grab that. Because yeah, it's definitely not there from yesterday. Even though it was
Yeah, I don't
in
see
my
it. So weird.
it was in my calendar, but just because it's in my calendar doesn't mean it's in the Kubernetes calendar, because it could have been deleted without notifying
Interesting.
people. So that's weird.
This is really weird because I see it on my calendar coming from
Yeah,
the
same.
Kate's community
Yeah,
calendar, but I don't see it on
Exactly.
Kate's
Like
community calendar.
that's yeah, that's I don't see it either. The exact same situation. This is very unusual. You know what? I'm gonna raise a red flag here in ContribEx. Hey Laura, maybe you forgot the meeting because it wasn't in the calendar.
Sounds like a reasonable guess.
Mm-hmm. All right. I'll run that down.
Wonderful. Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome.
Alrighty. That was a good thing for us to look at. I feel
Yeah.
like that was very productive.
Is it there next month? That's a good question.
I have doubts.
I have doubts as well. Nope, not there.
Good to know.
I think it must be due to KubeCon next month.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh, that's a good point. Let's look at
It should
November.
not be there for next month.
Yeah. Let's look at November.
Good
real quick.
call. Speaking of
I
which,
am not seeing.
it's a nice lead into our next item.
No, there's no. It's not into. Yeah. No. Okay.
But it's not
Okay.
beyond that either, I'm guessing.
No,
Yeah.
there's nothing
So-
there. It's like it. Maybe the recurrence finally ended. I know there is a limit of some. Really
Definitely
high
some
number.
fixing needed there.
All right. Cool.
Thank you, Chris, for getting that started. And so our next item is mine. It's about KubeCon tweets. And before I do that, let's go back to the other thing that I forgot this morning, which I've done for the last month of these meetings. I forgot to offer the opportunity for anyone new on the call to introduce themselves.
We don't bite.
So we do not. As you have now seen us interact, I hope you feel comfortable and have started to get a little bit of an understanding for what our group does. So if there's anyone new on the call who would like to say hello, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about why you're here, please do. You're also welcome to use chat, either chat or unmute. And it's totally optional. You don't have to do either of those things. This is recorded, by the way.
Hello, everyone. I'm
Hello,
Laksh.
hello.
I'm a computer science student, undergraduate computer science student, and I've been involved with other CNCF projects, but this is after a very long time I've attended this meeting. I attended this meeting 8-9 months ago, but now I've attended again. So if there is any ongoing project that needs help, so I'll be happy to contribute to it.
Wonderful. We're glad to have you back. And you said your name was, did you just use
Laksh.
Laksh?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
And this KubeCon Tweets project I'm about to go over will be one opportunity for you to get involved. And we'll probably talk about one other one as we go through our table, which we'll have to do pretty quickly today since we had a lot of stuff in our notes. Anyone else want to say hello?
Hey everyone. Am I audible?
Hello.
Hey everyone. So my name is Arpit Agarwal. I am a sophomore from India. I know Kathleen from KubeCon because I watched it virtually, so I know you. And apart from this, I am willing to learn and contribute.
Wonderful. We're so glad to have you. Oh, hello. Kim McMahon is here too. Her first visit. I said earlier this week, is McMahon the correct way to pronounce your last name?
It's McMahon, not like it's
McMahon.
spelled. Yeah. So
Totally
sorry. I'll get my calendar correct here. So if anybody saw me on Twitter, you've seen I've had a week. So we'll get my calendar up to date and I'll be able to contribute.
We appreciate you spending time with us.
Yeah,
Yes.
I appreciate
Especially
you
if you've had a
letting me.
week.
Yeah, yeah. It's all better now.
Okay, good.
So
Hi, everybody.
welcome.
Happy Friday.
Mhm.
Welcome, Arpit and Kim and Laksh. Anyone else?
Hi, myself Rajendra.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Why are you joining?
Yeah, I'm a developer. I have experience of 10 years in DevOps technologies. To get understanding on how this community forum is happening, I just joined this forum. So currently we are building, I'm working for one of the MNCs in New York. So we are building some observability platform, learning Kubernetes stuff and all. So to get understanding on it, I just joined.
Nice. So we've got a couple of students and a couple of professionals joining us as well. I love that folks from all stages of involvement can get involved with that. It's a wonderful thing about the community. So welcome. And you said your name was Rajendar, right?
Yes.
Did I pronounce that okay? Wonderful. Welcome, everyone.
We'll golf clap for that pronunciation. There you go.
All right. So the next item on our list was a great item for any of you new folks to get involved in, which is why I wanted to do the introductions before I started talking about it. So twice a year, we have KubeCons. We have, well, used to be 3 times a year. I wonder if they'll start doing the China one again. Not that we did that much for that one. KubeCon North America and KubeCon Europe are really the big ones. There used to be one in Shanghai as well that they would do, but haven't done that since the pandemic. Anyway, so it is KubeCon North America time. KubeCon EU is going to be in April. It's usually in the spring. And KubeCon North America is usually in the fall. So this time it's in October. And so our group, as contributor communications, our main job is to make sure that contributors are being informed about the things they need to know about. We do things with all sorts of different projects that folks need to know about. And KubeCon obviously is one thing that makes sense for contributors to know about. So we try to prepare tweets in advance to go out during the conference. And the conference is basically a whole week long. And so I have, oh, I already had it up actually, but whatever, that's fine. So we have this spreadsheet document, which I have linked. And let me grab the link to it and put it in our chat as well. So I have that linked in the notes. Now it's in the chat as well. So the first page of this spreadsheet is just information about what this document is. It is a document for drafting and planning all the tweets that we'll send out during KubeCon. You can also see some examples from past KubeCons, for example, KubeCon EU 2022. You can see all of the tweets that were written out for that and what they're about and when they went out and all of that information. And so for KubeCon North America, I went ahead and I basically just copied the one from EU 2022. I did not do my full due diligence in making sure that everything was right. I kind of just copied it. So the main thing I didn't check on is if the number of maintainer track blocks matches up between EU and North America. So
I think
it probably should.
The same-ish. Yeah.
It should be same-ish.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it and I was like, you know what? Folks can probably sort that out if I got it wrong. Also, I can always fix that a little bit later. Usually those take a little bit to get done. Anyway, so the concept here is if you are interested in writing a tweet that will go out during KubeCon, this will go out to the @Kate's contributors Twitter account, by the way. Take a look at this sheet, look at the description of the tweets that need to be written, and go ahead and grab whatever tweets you would like to have. List yourself as the owner. For example, I would put in Caslin Fields. That's my Twitter handle. And then I would look into, if you need to look at the schedule to see what's going on. For example, if you take one of the maintainer track blocks, those are actually more interesting. You would go to the KubeCon schedule in a schedule and find the contributor or the maintainer track block. So here I am on the schedule. If you go to these little colored dots on the right side, there's one for maintainer track. So I usually just click on that. And then you can see the first block is this 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time block on Wednesday, October 26th. So I would usually write my tweet based on what the talks are going to be in that block. And I tried my best to call out something interesting from each one of them. So like if there's specific tools that those are on, I'll try to like at the tools and say, there are sessions coming up in this block about this, this, and this. So make sure to check it out if you're interested in those things. So those ones are pretty straightforward and very formulaic. And the other ones are a little bit more freeform. I'll just delete that. So the other ones are a bit more freeform. So something like this, you would want to think about KubeCon. This is going to go out the day before KubeCon begins. It's before day 0. So day 0 is all co-located events. There's no keynotes. There's no actual KubeCon breakout sessions. The co-located events are sometimes sponsored by companies. Sometimes they're sponsored by Linux Foundation, and they're like full day events that are focused on a specific topic. Folks do not understand this. So maybe you want to talk about what KubeCon Day 0 Colo events are. I don't know. But for this one, I said that you might want to talk about the Contributor Summit, which is the first day. So October 24th, the day after this goes out, there will be the Kubernetes Contributor Summit. That's a big deal, of course, for contributors. There will also be colos happening. And you can always post the link to the schedule, which I do in almost every tweet that we do for these. So that's a brief overview of what it's like to create some of these tweets. You can always find these instructions here on this first page, which I probably need to update. I think the best way to do this, so the way we've done this in the past is we have everyone put their tweets into this spreadsheet, and then we put them into Twitter directly because of the lack of scheduling functionality that we had before in the GitHub. I think for this one, go ahead and put your tweets into this. If you have access to Buffer already, you can put these into Buffer, or you can get them. It might be better to get them reviewed here so that we review them all together and then put them into Buffer. And then for folks who don't have access to Buffer, sometimes we have folks who just come in to help with this project. I think the folks who are on the contributor comms team can grab those and put them into Buffer as tweets to be approved. So help each other out, basically. Yeah, Kim should have Buffer access.
Yes, I do. And
Okay,
yeah,
good.
I'll lower my hand now. I'm happy to go in there and do some writing. Do some writing for these tweets and our summit as well. So
Perfect.
we'll
Yeah,
get to
you might
doing
want to
some
grab
writing.
some of the summit ones.
Yeah.
Like this one and this one.
And you're using the other spreadsheet that we create that I shared with you, right? Okay. Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
want to download that and move it someplace more central? Because I believe that still lives on my drive, which is
Sure.
fine. I'm not going to delete it, but I personally like control of my own files people give me. So feel free to download it and upload it somewhere else and reshare, and then I'll write.
Good point. I should sort that out.
Or I
Yeah.
can, if you just tell me what folder you want it in. So
I'll have to think about that a little bit. Usually, honestly, like this one is still living in my own drive.
Oh, okay.
We can get,
We should really move that.
yeah, we can get drive space. I just forget where to ask.
Chris, do you want to take the action to get drive space, and then we'll get
Yeah,
our
I
files
think-
on our own drives in a shared drive?
Is that a service desk thing? Please tell me it's a service desk thing.
Oh, there
Well,
it is.
if you ask the service
Calendar.
desk, they should at least tell you if it's a service desk thing, right?
Yeah, but I always ask stupid questions to via service desk ticket, so I try not to. Anyways, let's see. Third-party services, that works.
That's also a good point that I want to bring up, though, is that some of us here are also working on the contributor summit, and I'm also working on the election. So there are some of these like side projects that sometimes overlap, because the contributor summit stuff will overlap with this during KubeCon tweets project. I usually try to keep all of the tweets that will go out during KubeCon in this document. So we can track them on the KCSNA, the Kubernetes Contributor Summit North America tracking document as well, but we'll probably want to put the actual drafts in this document. Multiple links to things is probably a good idea. Yeah. So this is a wonderful project for new contributors. You might be confused. Maybe I talked too fast about all of these different things, but if you have any questions, we do not bite. Reach out to us on Slack. Go ahead and grab whatever you'd be interested in working on here. Love to have you.
Do you have a due date that you'd want all these done, Caslin?
That is a good point.
Week
Let's
before
see.
KubeCon.
Yeah, week before KubeCon. That sounds reasonable.
Yeah, like I haven't
Okay,
done that
so that
Wednesday.
is 30 days from now, so. Because I
Yeah.
just registered 37 days until.
Oh,
KubeCon.
perfect.
Nice.
That's the only reason I know that. So, you know, probably, let me look at a calendar. We want to
That
get
makes
this
me
done.
feel on
Gotta
top of
get 'em
things.
scheduled. Huh?
That makes
right.
me feel on top of things. That it's 30
Let's
days
set-
out.
Yeah, let's, I suggest a due date of October 14. And then, that'll give any of us who have buffer access a week to go ahead and get them scheduled.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Look at this. I just come in and come late, take over.
There you
Love
go.
it.
That's how you roll.
Much appreciated. That is something that I have consistently not done well with this, is set the due date on it.
Due
Yeah,
dates are
that's
always hard. I mean, you got to
They
figure it out for
are.
multiple people in a large group. So yeah, don't feel bad about that.
But Kim has got it on it.
Right.
Awesome. And also relevant, I'll be out starting the Thursday of the week before KubeCon. So it is important to get them in
Yes.
right before KubeCon. Last time we tried to do them on site and that was such a mess. So
Ugh.
much faster at doing it before I get to KubeCon.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very hard to do on site.
It is very hard to do on site. Last KubeCon I learned. Alrighty, we're already almost at time. We've done most of our stuff in the notes today. But let's go on ahead and do a really quick run through our table. So Hina updated me that she is out right now, and if anybody wants to help with her action items, they're welcome, but it's also not terribly urgent, so I don't think it's a huge issue if we have to wait. The one thing that needs doing here is this. We want to automatically add a comment tagging comms when the comms label is applied. So if anyone wants to look into that, it's been a while since we discussed exactly what would be, why is that a Zoom link?
That's weird.
That is weird. I'm gonna remove that. That didn't work. Okay, let me copy this, edit, replace. There we go. So that should now actually go to GitHub. Aha, commenting on an issue when a label is added. Here is a guide on how to do that. So if anyone wants this, Hina is going to be out for a little bit. So that is up for grabs if folks want to do that work. I'm going to move on because we want to move quick today. I'm going to move on past this one because I doubt there is a new PR. Never mind. Good thing that you highlighted that. Frederico, do you want to mention your new PR? Oh, yes. You mentioned this in the ContribEx channel or the comms channel. Cool. So new PR for us to review. Anything else you want to say about it? Oh, you're talking, but you're...
Yeah, mute.
Can't hear you.
You are not audible.
There you are.
There you go.
Sorry. Yes. So this is the same content that was last edited in the other PR, and I've added the changes that seem to me to be a reflection of the comments that were in the old PR. I've kept all the history and all the co-authorship of the previous comments. And now it's essentially just move forward with the additional round of comments and approvals.
Excellent. So that's a new blog post for Cades.dev that needs review. If anybody wants to take a look at that. All right. I still did not do this week. It was Friday and I was like, I should do this on Monday when people will see it. And then this week was madness. So I still haven't done that. Gonna move on past that. Role descriptions. Frederico is working on a new one for blogging.
That's also there in green.
Yes, perfect. Love it. Love the green.
So yeah, this is the very first and rough draft, obviously, but it's out there, and feedback highly welcome as always.
Yes. So if you're interested in blogging and would like to, ooh, thank you. Tarva was on it too. Both of us at the same time. Someone asked for the doc link in the chat. But yes, so if you're interested in blogging, if you'd like to help out with making sure that our role definitions are good, please review that. All right. Automation lead role also has a draft that needs some review. And events coordinator and social media are well on their way. And then there's a couple more that we can discuss another time. Next item, contributor site stuff from Imran. So I don't know about this particular thing, but Imran messaged me saying that he was going to be out today. He attended the, so Rajula hosted a review of automation stuff, and he was on that. Someone else was on that too.
Oh, yeah, I was just going
wonderful.
to say, yesterday was the meeting. Me, Rajula, Imran, and I guess Avinash also, we four of us attended the meeting. We had a discussion on the layout of the contributor to its GitHub action. Also, we talked about the Slack automation bot thingy. And I think we recorded this session. Rajula should have the recording, or is it to
I think
the
he attempted to
comms
use this
account?
Zoom. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it should
It
get
should be,
posted
huh?
to YouTube with our usual stuff, I assume.
Yeah. We also had a talk about the Slack inviter. It was down, right?
Yep.
Yeah. It was just a fun hangout, mostly developing stuff and things like that. So that's that.
Wonderful. I'm so excited that that finally happened. I know several folks in this group have been particularly interested in the dev side of things, and me and Chris have been the ones mainly on this call for a while, and we are not that familiar with that stuff. But Rajula was like our tech lead kind of person previously, and he hasn't been able to join our meetings for a while because he got really busy with work and life and stuff. But he's trying to make sure that that information is getting passed on to folks now. So excited to hear that moving along. So I'll move on from that. I didn't manage to get anything new done on the contributor comms name rename thing. I think I did maybe update these issues while we were going through them last time. Basically, the status is that two of them, well, there's one that was stuck because the files that need to be updated are auto-generated. Aha, this one looks like it is not stuck right now.
Oh, really?
4 days ago. Yes. So that seems like it's ready for an LGTM probably.
Who can do that? I can do that, right?
Yeah, I
Can
think
do that?
so.
Okay.
I don't know that we can approve this one. We probably can't approve it, but we can LGTM it and poke someone about approving it.
Mm-hmm.
Josh is in our channel. So he would probably do it for us if we pestered him. That's so exciting. So that was 1.5. 1.4, I'm guessing, is still stuck because I don't think it can. I think this one is just incorrectly filed. And so we'll probably end up getting rid of 6714, and 6715 should take care of the stuff in 6714. So let's do 6715 and see if it fixes it. And then the website is waiting on 6715. So progress. Next item, SIG spotlights. For new folks, this is another recurring project that if you're interested in writing blog posts and also learning about the different special interest groups within the Kubernetes project, we always welcome folks to pick a special interest group other than the ones listed here probably, reach out to those co-chairs or just reach out to their channel on Slack and say, I'm interested in writing a spotlight blog post for your special interest group. I can send you all the information about how to do these if you want to know about it. Ping me in Slack. And we've had a few that have come out recently. The docs one came out. The storage one came out. These were both like a couple months ago at this point. Architecture.
Yeah, there's a deadline for the first batch of answers next week. So that's progressing.
Perfect.
Right.
These can be pretty
6
slow. Requires a lot of collaboration.
Yeah.
SIG security. I don't have an answer.
That's okay.
I've pinged the co-chair several times, and she didn't really get back to me. So there's not much help that I need in this, or anyone can do much. But what I can do is to continue to insist and see how it goes. I would still stress that it would be likely be better for Rishit to try to broaden the scope here and choose one or two other SIGs.
Yeah.
Just if one answers, then we can proceed.
Yep, and that's okay. Sometimes it's hard to do the collaboration thing. So if we want to move on to other SIGs and spotlight them instead, that's perfectly fine.
Exactly.
All right, I'll leave that on the thing for now, but we might take it off. Updates to the blogging instructions. Are there any updates on this PR right now?
Well, no, because I'm still waiting for reviews on the, and actually this points to a problem in the process that it's described in the in the guideline itself, which is at least in GitHub you can have a sense of when the PR was created, and if there's no feedback, then at least you know that there's no feedback. I think that we risk with HackMD, there's a risk of it becoming very invisible because I think it's easier to forget to give feedback on HackMD. So I don't know. Maybe we should think that we open a PR that links to the HackMD so that we can know that things are progressing. Because otherwise, I fear that just in HackMD, things get completely forgotten. This is just an idea.
I think this one has been around long enough, certainly, that I think that makes sense. I know that I have skimmed through it a couple of times and haven't found any major issues. So I think it makes sense to make a PR for that one.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Code to GitHub code spaces. We had asked folks if they wanted to try out GitHub code spaces. If you have access to them, test them out and give your feedback. Aside from that, there's nothing really for our group to do, but it's an interesting thing for us to keep track of. Next item, more of Frederico's wonderful tweets about the annual report went out this week. Would you call that done at this point, Frederico?
Yes, I would. I didn't find anything missing, so.
I'm gonna delete this. Delete row. Wonderful. Validate command, still broken, probably. Rajulo's working on all of that knowledge sharing stuff, so that's awesome. There is this blog that Deba is helping to shepherd about Linux Foundation mentorship. Nice. I pinged on this last week and Josh did another editorial pass, suggested a bunch of edits. So that one's hopefully still moving. Deba, if you're still on, FYI.
Yeah. yes. I had a look on that. That's
perfect. Keep track of the SIG docs blog subproject process changes. That's kind of tied in with some of the other stuff. This went out, I think. think that was what that tweet was about. Went out yesterday. So I think I can delete that one too, but I'll double check on that. Security comms guidelines. This is a long-term thing. I'm sure it's not actively has any updates right now. And Avinash isn't on anyway. And scheduling tweets. This is also a long-term thing. Maybe someday Twitter Together will give us that capability so that we can actually schedule tweets from GitHub. But as of right now, we can't, which is why we have Buffer, and it's wonderful. And that's it. We're 1 minute over. We got through pretty much the whole table kind of quickly. If you have any questions or need any help, you can find us on Slack on the SIG ContribComms channel. However, that's stated. I think it's SIG ContribEx comms. But anyway, so if you need any help, you know where to find us. See you all on Slack, and I'm going to stop the recording.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much for joining.